Quarterfinal Saturday continues at the Southern Conference Tournament, where the ETSU Bucks and Chattanooga Mocs, the Tennessee rivals, are about to get together in our 5 versus 4 game. Game 2 of 4 on this fabulous Saturday of hoops in Asheville, North Carolina. Earlier today, UNCG got all they could handle out of the 8th seed, the Citadel, but the regular season champion going on to an 8-point win. They will now watch closely as this battle unfolds between the Bucks and the Mocs. Hi everybody and welcome back in with Dean Keener, Pete Yannity with you. During the regular season, a couple of thrilling games between these rivals, Chattanooga and ETSU. Both games went to the Mocs, but moments ago we got some pretty stunning news from the Chattanooga folks. 2 of their starters, Malachi Smith and Darius Banks, out due to COVID issues. So there you go, Dean. It's tough if that happens in a regular season game. It occurs as they're about to play in the SoCon tourney.
Yeah, the 4-5 game is always a great setting in a tournament situation, and this rivalry adds a little bit more to it, but you're exactly right. Things change in a heartbeat in this environment. The Mocs now have to pivot without a first-team coaches All-Southern Conference selection in Malachi Smith.
Malachi Smith is also their rebounds leader. It was going to be hard enough to handle one of the star players and one of the really good newcomers in the Southern Conference for ETSU, Ladarius Brewer. Boy, he comes into the game having been the go-to guy in his first season in Johnson City.
Yeah, Ladarius Brewer, a first-team All-Southern Conference selection by the coaches and the media. Their leading scorer, also leads them in steals, one of the best rebounding guards in the league. He has just been a really nice addition this year after sitting out from Southeast Louisiana, a talented perimeter player who's fun to watch. For the Mocs, well, David Jean-Baptiste, he's got a heavy load to carry right now, but what a terrific career the seniors had. He was a second-team All-League selection. He scored over 1,200 career points. So he can play, but he's going to have to carry an awful lot with just 8 available players for Chattanooga.
The Chattanooga wins during the regular season snapped a long skid in their series against the Bucks of ETSU, who had won 10 in a row. More on this matchup and Chattanooga in particular. Here's Erin Summers.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Due to contact tracing and positive testing of COVID-19 within the Chattanooga program, they will be without guard Malachi Smith and forward Darius Banks. Those 2 starters for this team, they account for 27 points per game, over 12 rebounds. And while Chattanooga has dealt with a lot of issues in this regard throughout the season, they played with 8 people available on multiple occasions. It's never been 2 starters. It's going to be a different challenge for these Mocs. Coach Paris said, we've been playing with maximum flexibility all season, and we're going to continue to ride that mentality today.
8 players available for the Mocs. They will count heavily on the likes of Jamal Walker. It's kind of like a youth basketball game when some of the kids on the team also had to play baseball or soccer, and just enough showed up to compete. Well, this Chattanooga team will also try to pull off the very difficult, beating an opponent, an arch rival at that, 3 times in the same season, and an early turnover by the Bucks of ETSU. They come in giving it up about 14 times a game. One of the few returnees for either team in this game is Vonnie Patterson on ETSU on the floor when he traveled to start things out right now. And there is Kenich, and that is going to be an even bigger weapon today for the Mocs.
Yeah, he can certainly do that. He was a good player at Cleveland State. 59 starts in 2 years and then joined the team last year.
Well, Casey Hankton and crew hoping they can fulfill their half of our building blocks in this game, presented by General Shale.
Now for the Bucks, a good start. They need to be good early, all hands on deck. Probably could say the same thing for the Mocs, but transition defense, they got to get back and locate. They've done that thus far. And then they've got to be balanced inside and out. They're going to make some threes. That's got to be the great equalizer with a limited roster. They've got to score inside as well.
Grant Ledford may see the most minutes in his career today, one of the few reserves for the Chattanooga Mocs. They come up empty. Monsanto the lob. Ty Brewer just into the game, able to sneak in the first bucket of the contest for the Bucks. ETSU is 11% from the field so far. They start 1 of 9.
And they've turned it over 4 times as well. Terrific pass right there by Caldwell.
And more than happy to finish it up is Ianni, and what do you know, Chattanooga, for all of their issues, out to a 7-point lead. This could be one of those games that never has a flow, and if it's that way, Chattanooga will be happy. But this could be a really kind of strange ball game, although Comparatively, Jamal Walker and Chattanooga, they will settle for how it's gone so far. They're out of the gate 11-2 against their rivals, the Bucks.
Welcome back to Asheville UTC with an 11-2 lead over ETSU. Bucks hoping to get back their forward, Damari Monsanto, who's out of the game right now due to an early injury to his left foot. It was the ankle area that the doctors were assessing after they took his shoes off, cut off some tape that was already heavily wrapped around that foot. He has put his shoes back on after getting retaped and is running, going through some lateral movement drills, and looks like he's trying to make his way back into this ball game. Pete.
Saw him go behind the curtain, behind the spread out bench, and now he reemerges.
You like what Chattanooga's done here in the half court. They've been solid all around, just almost a pack line kind of defense.
Shot clock under 10. Smith giving it away. Brewer will force. And first bucket of the game. And the first bucket in a while for ETSU. And the Bucks will run out. Sloan, their floor general, a step through and he's fouled. Whoa, and right over there where Aaron saw the plexiglass go down around her. We are first and foremost concerned for the safety of all involved with that. I think Aaron is okay, and that's important. You'll see from this angle, and hopefully Mr. Sloan is also all right. He appears to be. He was able to jump out of the way. Aaron was not, and our sound guy, Jerome, needed to be in front of everybody. Since he can bench press the building, he would have made sure that the plexiglass didn't fall.
It looks as though Aaron is okay. You know, to the she gives the
We've
thumbs
gotten
up,
confirmation. She just did an injury update on herself. So yes,
I don't need to go over there and kind of hover around to see what they're saying.
Medical personnel is not needed, at least for now.
I make it known I don't bet, but anybody that had the over-under at 100 got a chance to win some money tonight.
Sloan, one of the SoCon assist leaders. And on the left wing, Ladarius Brewer. Jamal Walker did everything he could defensively on that play.
Yeah, he did. Brewer, a capable, more than capable, 39% three-point shooter.
I hope all the fans appreciate our sponsor and our stations as much as we do. David Jean-Baptiste in a 5-point game with a nice feed. And when they were missing Josh Ianni at times this year, they missed that ability to finish at the rim. He probably does that as well as anyone who's available for him today.
Yeah, he absolutely does. That was a nice two-man game. Jean-Baptiste was patient with the dribble and waited to the right moment to where to feed his cutting big man.
Just under 5 to play. Opening half of game number 2 on quarterfinal Saturday. The bullet to Caldwell. He burned ETSU at the buzzer in one of the wins for the Mocs this season, and that'll put his team back in front by 7.
That's the first clean look that Caldwell has had, and with good reason. I mean, he's at the top of the scouting report in terms of shooters.
Chattanooga 35% from the field. Bucks, who started really slowly offensively, have picked up the pace ever so slightly on offense. Monsanto, the freshman of the year. That's how you take the honor and score nearly 12 a game in your first season playing for the Bucks, and it's back to a 2-point deficit.
But as a basketball coach, he has really adjusted. Look, they lost 4 starters from a year ago, right? Maurice Commander and Matt Ryan, who was a really good transfer from Notre Dame and Vanderbilt. Rod Johnson. Ramon Villa chose to go back, I think, to Spain. Maybe stay there, didn't come back for the summer.
Ladarius Brewer inside. We've got a tie at 21. Lamont Paris, really an up-and-comer in this game, and Aaron has more.
Coach Paris said while this season has been difficult, they've been finding a way. He has a really resilient group. They've had a lot of good looks, and those shots just haven't been able to fall this season. It's not that they're not working hard and getting good opportunities on the offensive end. He really likes the fight that this team has and thinks they have a shot in this tournament just like everyone else.
Ledford following the miss. Scrap for the rebound. Ty Brewer strong. ETSU on a 7-0 run.
Kind of feel the momentum kind of shifting toward ETSU right now. A little bit more comfortable at the offensive end.
Ladarius Brewer throws it away. And they were a team that Back when they just used to do a top 20, they were making the national rankings then. Across the lane, and Ty Brewer showing a scoring ability like his brother Ladarius. 3 seconds to go. Ladarius Brewer from the midcourt line. Oh, just grazes off the right side of the rim, and the Bucks come back to have a 2-point lead at the half. ETSU 8-4 when leading at the intermission this season. Chattanooga, they have trailed 7 times this year at the half. They have won 5 of those games. Let's send it over to Aaron with Jason Shea of the Bucks.
Coach, you were able to grab the lead here in the last few minutes. What changed over that stretch?
Well, we got some defensive stops. We saw the ball go in the basket. Got off to a slow start offensively, but they've gotten off to fast starts in the last 8-10 games. We just hung in there, changed some defense, which I think got them out of rhythm, and here we are.
How can you carry that momentum into the next half?
We just got to keep bringing the energy, and we got to get some better looks at the basket. When we moved the ball, I think we got open looks, we got rhythm shots. When we tried to take it off the bounce, their physicality then bothered us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Jason Shea, as an assistant coach, helped Steve Forbes build an elite SoCon program at ETSU. He is trying to continue that now, in charge of the Bucks program, as David Sloan and crew lead by 2 at the break. Chattanooga going for a 3-game sweep against Ladarius Brewer and the Bucks of ETSU. The Mocs led at the half in both those regular season wins, but ETSU a 23-21 advantage on David Jean-Baptiste in this quarterfinal game as halftime winds down. As we welcome you back to Asheville, North Carolina, and with Dean Keener, Pete Gannady with you. The Mocs opened up a 9-point lead. ETSU closed the half on a 9-0 run. For all the play we saw on either ends and how it unfolded, we can't get past the underlying theme to this game, and that's the fact that due to a couple of COVID issues, the Mocs dressed just 8 players for this game.
No, make no mistake, that's the headline of this game. And that's really kind of why it was an ugly first half. It wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but I think both coaches will take some positive. Jason Shea being down early felt like they started to pick up the intensity. And then for Lamont Paris, he wants a game low scoring, half court. So I think both of them are pretty happy, all things considered.
ETSU turned a slow start into a pretty good run there in the first half to come from that 9-point deficit. And they're a ball club that, again, for as many talented players they have, you'd think they'd score more per game, but they really started to show some of their ability, especially from the outside. They
did late, right? They ended up shooting 32% as a team, and the way they started, I didn't think they were going to get into the 20s. So, again, their defense at some time, it picked up and led to some good offense. You know, for Chattanooga, they started shooting well and then ended up at 29%. And that guy right there, David Jean-Baptiste, he's their leading scorer in terms of eligible players. Without Malachi Smith, he's got to be the guy. Look, hadn't scored, missed 4 field goal attempts, forced a couple uncharacteristically. I think if Chattanooga's going to win, they're going to need a total team effort, but he's got to be the man stepping up at the offensive end.
And Ladarius Brewer, who leads the way for the Bucks, 1/3 of their points roughly in the opening 20 minutes. Let's send it over to Aaron.
Thanks, Pete. Coach Paris at the half said that he needs to get his team to do a better job handling the pressure. They had 9 turnovers in the first half, which led to 17 points on the other side. And they said we need to be better with the ball and make sure that we're making the most of each possession that we have. That means getting inside more. We started that way in the first half, and that's what was working. We need to get back to that in the second.
Chattanooga trying to get back to the semifinal game in the Southern Conference tournament. Likewise for the reigning champion, ETSU Bucks.
Neither of those looked very good. It's always amazed me how guys can't put in the time to be good free throw shooters.
That wasn't the plan, but Casey Hankton, right place, right time. Tied up now at 27. And Hankton going for the steal. He was active defensively in the first couple of minutes of the game. And Vonnie Patterson will head to the line and a chance for a 3-point play.
Welcome back to quarterfinals action here in Asheville. ETSU's Jason Shea is enjoying his first season at the helm of the Bucks. However, it's been a very difficult challenge this year because they lost so many players from last season. They lost 95% of their scoring and 88% of their rebounding. He had to really refuel with a lot of bodies. He said it's been a challenge, but he loves being able to get a team to play for one another. That's the joy. We have success when we're able to play as a group together on the court. He said it's also been kind of fun to be the guy that gets to make all the decisions now.
And perhaps a better office, better desk, maybe some type of limo service and other perks for Jason Shea from the state of Illinois, not far from the Quad Cities where he grew up. But Wofford may have had a couple of singularly more talented players than anyone at ETSU last year, but the Bucks had two of everything in terms of talented guys at positions. That's why I thought they were so elite and could have made the Sweet 16, just as Wofford almost did the year before.
Yep.
And the denial, Monsanto. Good-looking redshirt freshman, a step through to go around Caldwell and Kenneth. Biggest lead of the game for ETSU. David Jean-Baptiste trying to get in the scoring action. And here come the Bucks. They want to run. Sloan kicks. Monsanto from the corner.
Not the game the Mocs want to get into. Be interesting to see if Lamont Paris will call a timeout or just try to settle things down. Biggest run of the game thus far by either team. Back in Asheville, where the winner gets #1 seed UNCG. Chattanooga Mocs trying to hang in there, and their leader, David Jean-Baptiste, heating up, looking for his shot just a little bit more, being more aggressive. Just 2 of 9, but the last 2 baskets suggest that he is starting to get into the flow, and he'll be a big key. You see there averaging 16.5 points a game. He's going to need every bit of that if the Mocs are going to claw back in and try to advance to tomorrow's semifinal.
10 on the shot clock. Bullet pass for Ledford, and he delivers from the corner.
Nice pass by A.J. Caldwell. Threw it through a couple of Buck defenders who had their hands down.
Remains a 4-point game, 39-35. Sloan defended by Jean-Baptiste, and a nice finish by David Sloan, the senior originally from Louisville. What a great basketball town that is. Walker leaves it over to Hankton. Backing in on a Deke, and he gets the bounce.
The kind roll for Hankton right there, one-on-one. Just seen a lot of one-on-one here in the second half. I don't know that it's healthy for either team.
Chattanooga Mocs, a depleted roster. As you see, the group collected there, that is everyone available for them. The 5 who are currently in the game, the 3 reserves. It's not like they're doing maximum social distancing and have the others in the background. 43-39 game. Our second of 4 quarterfinal contests. UNCG looking on this one, they get the winner. Aaron.
Pete, this depleted roster is something that Chattanooga's dealt with all year. They've not had enough players to actually practice at times, so they've had to have the assistant coaches come in and practice. I asked Coach Paris who had the best shot still, and he said it had to be Eddie Shannon, who played at Florida. He's definitely still a player. But he said that he also recruits athletic assistant coaches in case that ever becomes a need down the line.
Just into the game, Sorrell Smith transferred from Maryland. It'll go the other way. 2 points each. It was a 2-point ETSU lead at the break. You see our 3-point score right now. Sloan adding to that. Doubles up the fun for the Bucks. They move up by 6. Hanich hung up, and away comes Brewer. This time it's a Deke on the feed, and more than happy to grab it and score it is Patterson, and that brings us a timeout. ETSU the bucket to move back up by 4, and Jason Shea wants to talk it over with his team. 48-44, 4.5 to go. Tight times for the rivals.
And we continue to go back and forth. Stick around. This will be a good one down the stretch.
Wofford's played for the title 6 times basically in the past decade and won 5 of them. From the left wing, and Walker delivers big time. 35% beyond the arc. Walker, his three-pointer, he's 2 of 3 from long range. He's got a dozen.
That was an unselfish play by A.J. Caldwell.
Under 4 to play in a 1-point game. Brewer with Kenich knocking it into the backcourt. We'll give it to Sloan, the more reliable ball handler. Great distributor, looking to get it inside. They collapsed on him. There's Monsanto. Wow. Freshman of the year right there.
Yep, no doubt about it. But his hands were ready, and a good pass leads to a good shot.
Both are redshirt freshmen, keep in mind. They're going to have a lot to say about how this series goes in the coming years.
Well, the future bodes well for Southern Conference basketball in general. Generally a league that has and always will have talented juniors and seniors, upperclassmen, but it's got some good young ones as well.
Ty Brewer with the nice touch. Our Geico play of the game as the Bucks and Mocs are battling tight here late. And you can't find a better pass and then a more eloquent finish than we saw Caldwell to Walker moments ago.
One of a couple of unselfish passes by A.J. Caldwell. That one right there, Jamal Walker, the benefactor of being able to hammer it home, said multiple times here this afternoon how impressed I've been with this redshirt freshman. Not just with his points, but even at the defensive end, a couple of blocks.
A late heave by Jordan Coffin for ETSU, and that'll wrap it up. Bucks never led by a sizable margin. They maintained several 10-point leads in this game after falling behind by 9, and that's the final difference for Jason Shea's team, 63-53. They avenged 2 regular season losses against the Chattanooga Mocs, and on the season they pick up win number 13. They're moving back to the SoCon semifinals.
Always difficult to beat a team 3 times in a season. Unfortunately, the Mocs without Malachi Smith and Darius Banks. But at this point, it's all about trying to win and advance to try to get to Monday night's championship game, and not necessarily an upset in a 4-5. This could have gone either way, but congrats to Lamont Paris and the Mocs on what really was a difficult but successful 18-win season. Congratulations to ETSU advancing to what should be an outstanding game tomorrow on ESPNU.
ETSU has now won 11 of its past 13 in the series with Chattanooga. UNCG and ETSU in one semifinal Sunday night. Now we get ready for the second half of quarterfinals Saturday. Shortly, right here where you're watching, Mercer and Wofford. That'll be followed by VMI and Furman. We've had 2 really interesting games to start out. We expect some compelling action as we continue on here in Asheville, North Carolina. Come back to us in just a little bit. For now, we will say so long from here in the Smoky Mountains of Western North Carolina. On behalf of Dean Keener and Aaron Summers, Pete Hannity saying so long. ETSU, they're moving on.